Well, I hadn't written the books thinking of that at all.
No.
I wrote the books entirely to work as a book series. But right from the beginning, I got a lot of film interest and television interest. And I said no to a lot of stuff. I'm very glad I said no, because I felt that, the television, particularly at the time, it just didn't have the budget to be able to make the wonder. I thought it was very important for the books have an environmental message, and it's about, the wonder of the natural world. And the dragons have to be, wow, they have to be spectacular. And they just didn't have the budget to do that. And that was integral to the whole, thing. So I said no to a lot of stuff. But when DreamWorks came along, they clearly, they just, the artists that they have working there, they have attracted, people like Pierre-Olivier Vincent, who does the, all the landscapes, and Nico Marley designed all the characters, and, they attract directors like Dean, who are, and these people are, just people who you feel, could do it, or I felt could do it. So even though it was a very autobiographical thing for me, and it is difficult, as an author, giving up your baby that you care about, I felt that they would be able to do it, and it was worth the risk, I suppose, is what I felt right from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's why I said yes. And, I feel it has been. I love the films.
Yeah.
I suppose, and there are moments when, I remember one particular, there are moments when you think, oh my goodness, is this, I remember when Bonnie came over and Chris and Dean had just come on board, they were the new directors, and, they produced the new design for Toothless, and I always speak my mind, I always say, what I think, and I was anxious, but I just had to say to myself, I admire these directors. I admire these directors. I loved Lilo and Stitch, which I thought was a very interesting and original movie for Disney to make at that time.
Yeah.
And you've got to have faith. You can't, you've got to have faith in the creativity of other people. And I think for a film to be wonderful, the director needs to have a strong creative vision. So I felt it was important for me to respect that. Yeah. I'm very much in charge of my books. I like to be in charge. Yeah. I don't like people telling me what to do about my books. Yeah. And so I try to respect that in the filmmakers. They've got their vision, and if you want to attract a director with a strong creative vision, I think that needs to be the way.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected Hollywood to be, but they've been remarkably inclusive right from the beginning, in that they've been very much, sharing what they're doing, and very open and, open to you, suggesting things and saying things. But it's very much been their movie. And, if you were to get involved in an animation project, I think you'd have to be there. Yeah. Apart from anything else, you'd have to be there in Los Angeles, because they, an animator will, he'll do a bit, a bit of a piece of animation, and then they might include that in the film. They're constantly changing it, and so it's their film, but they've always shared it with me as they went along, and they asked my opinion, and I'm unable to not give it. I always give it. But I always give an honest opinion. But it's their film, and that's how we've both seen it right from the beginning. So it's been a very, for me, it's been very successful. I've loved the films that they've made, and so it's really worked.